Hey guys, welcome back to Visit Place. And today, since you guys had so many views on my whatever I've just read, once I finish the book of premise, I'll continue reading it. But today, I'm going to be doing Like Sisters Emma Moves In from American Girl Doll. It's one of the American Girl Doll books from a bunch of American Girl Dolls you have. So let me go get my American Girl Dolls based off of this book. I got my American Girl Doll, but currently my hair's a mess. I got my American Girl Doll, Emma, and today we're going to be reading her story. Emma's big mood is changing everything. She's always fascinated about living in the same seaside town as her twin cousins Natalie and Zoe. But now she's there, things are going quite the way she expected. The beautiful old mansion the girls' mother are renovating isn't finished, and Emma misses her dad, who's stuck in Seattle. Worse, the twins led separate lives at school, and Natalie's friend Catala is giving Emma the cold shoulder. But Emma and her cousins have always felt just like sisters, so Emma is determined to make her new start a big success, if only she could figure out how. That was the back, and now I'm going to read it. Chapter 1. Things we absolutely have to do. 1. Have a cookout. Well, that will be easy. Emma thought, wiggling her feet under the airline seat in front of her. By the time she and her parents finally got weary, Uncle Louis would be flipping burgers on the grill, while her mom's twin sister, Aunt Alyssa, and all the cousins arranged salad and desserts on the big outdoor trestle table. Last year, her family had gotten there the evening before the annual family barbecue, and Emma, her favorite two cousins, twins Natalie and Zoe, had made up their own brownie recipe. They mixed in not just walnuts and chocolate chips and dried pineapple, coconut, raisin, peanuts, and marshmallows. It had been Natalie's idea. Zoe has been skeptical, and Emma thought maybe they should play it safe and follow the real recipe. But Natalie insisted. She'd been right. The brownies had been delicious. Emma's mouth watered at the memory. 2. Swim. Back in home of Seattle, the water was too cold to swim in the ocean. Emma swam in indoor swimming pools, competing relay and races. It was fun, and she was good at it. She liked the smell of chlorine and the stretch of her muscle. Swimming in the warm sun splashed water of the Chesapeake Bay with Natalie and Zoe was even better, though. 3 sparklers. At night after the barbecue, everyone, even the grown-ups, would light a sparkler out in the front yard of the Zoe's and Natalie's house. Writing their names in the light, it was tradition, and their family cared about tradition. 4. Bonfire on the beach. Some evenings this week, when the weather was just right, they would build a fire of driftwood on the beach and toast marshmallows to make s'mores. Natalie liked hers so dark they were almost black, and Zoe preferred hers untoasted. But Emma would turn hers patiently until they were perfect, even golden brown all the way around. 5. Knitting with Grandma Stephan. Over Christmas, Grandma had started all 3 of them making scarves. Emma had chosen blue and white, Zoe black and purple, and Natalie red and turquoise. Emma had tried to finish her scarf on her own after she and her parents had gone back home, but the yarn had gotten tangled. She dropped too many stitches. Finally, she gave up in frustration. It was too hard, and not as much fun by herself. A pang went through Emma's chest at thought of her grandmother. Back in spring, Grandma Stephen had fallen on the stairs of the Seaview house. Her big, wonderful Victorian home and broke her hip. She was okay. Everyone said she was going to be just fine. But she had left the Seaview house and moved in with Zoe and Natalie's family, where their other grandma, Uncle Louis' mom, Abulita, already lived there. Emma's mom had told her the living situation was only temporary, but it had been going on for months now. What if Grandma wasn't really okay? No, her mom would have said Grandma was going to be fine unless it was true. But the beautiful home where generations of Emma's family had lived was shuttered and silent. Emma's mom said the Seaview house was too big for Grandma Stephen to take care of by herself, even when she was fully recovered. At the thought of Seaview house being empty, Emma felt her throat go tight, and she swallowed back this feeling before it turned into tears. It would be silly to cry over a house, but the important thing was Grandma was okay. Determined not to think of Seaview house, she turned back to her list. Emma hesitated. Her pencil was resting on the paper, not so sure about whether to leave anything on the list. They could knit just as well in the living room of Natalie and Zoe's house as they had in the parlor at Seaview House. Of course, but maybe Grandma didn't feel like doing projects anymore since she'd been hurt. Should she scratch that one out? Even if Grandma hadn't changed knitting, wasn't really a summer thing. And Natalie and Zoe might have already finished their scarves with Grandma while Emma wasn't there. Emma pushed away the fleeting thought. Not fair. She knew that she couldn't expect everyone in Waverly to just wait for her to come back before doing anything fun together. Next to Emma, Emma's dad gave a little snore, and she glanced up as he slouched farther down against the airplane window. His glasses perched crookedly on his nose, and his mouth open. Emma's mom looked up from her laptop screen at the same time and caught Emma's eye, just as her dad snorted. They both giggled. He had been working hard on a new menu. Her mom said, This nap is just what he needs. He'll be ready to ride the waves with you girls by the time we get there." Emma grinned. Her dad had the most richest bathing suit, bright pink with wild purple and turquoise chocolate flowers on it. But she liked how he came out into the water or onto the beach in his crazy bathing suit and played with them, instead of just hanging out with other grown-ups. Last summer, he helped Zoe and Natalie's little brothers build a huge sand castle with pebble-covered drawbridge and turrets reaching up to the sky. She felt a sudden urge of affection for her parents. She liked their little tight unit of three: her mother, her father, and herself. But sometimes she could help Ebony, Zoe, and Natalie for having not just their parents and each other, but also their little brothers, even if Thomas and Matto were pretty bratty sometimes, and Grandma Stephen and Abeluda, and living near Uncle Dean and Aunt Bonnie, whose own kids were mostly away at college and brand new jobs. They had tons of family right in their town, right in their house. They, the whole other mom's side of the family, except for Emma and her parents, all lived in Waverly, a small town on Chesapeake Bay where the family had lived for generations. Natalie and Zoe went to the school where Emma's mom and their mom, Aunt Melissa, had gone with their brother, Uncle Dean. The school was right down from the street from Seaview House, where her mom's grandparents and more generations before that had lived. It must be nice to belong somewhere so much that everyone knew you and you knew every inch of the whole town. Emma lived in Seattle now, but 2 years ago they lived in San Francisco before her mom got a job at a different law firm. Natalie and Zoe had lived in the same house their whole lives. Emma's mom went back to her computer screen, squinting at a long, boring-looking work document, and Emma picked up her pencil and looked down at her list again. 6. Finish the Violet story. She and Natalie had started a story last summer all about a girl named Violet who had a talking dog that only Violet could understand, and the trouble he got her into. They had laughed a lot writing it, and Zoe had drawn really funny pictures of steam coming out of Violet's ear because she was so angry, and of her innocent-faced dog looking as if he had no idea what happened or why everything was such a mess. Did Natalie still have the story? They didn't have time to work on it over Christmas. A little ball of anxiety expanded in Emma's chest. There was never enough time. In just a week, she planned to be on a plane heading back to Seattle again. The pilot's voice came over the intercom, interrupting her thoughts. We are approaching our final descent into ball-type war. Please return to your seats back to upright positions and secure tray tables to the seat back in front of you. There was a ton more she wanted to write, but she was out of time. Quickly, Emma scribbled the most important thing. 7. Cousin Pat. There were so many more things she could have listed. So many things she wanted to fit in 1 week. They would have with the rest of the family, but they make time for the pack. She latched the tray table and put her seat upright. Her mom shut her laptop next to her. Her dad yawned himself awake. How you doing, kiddo? He asked, excited to get to the house and see everyone. Yeah, said Emma. She folded her list and stuffed it into her pocket of her backpack. I wish we could stay longer this time. She saw her parents exchanging a look and added, I know we can't. It would be fun to be with Natalie and Zoe for longer, though. She understood why they would only come to Waverly for a few days over Christmas and for the week in the summer. Her dad was a head chef at Harvest Moon, a restaurant specializing in comfort food in Seattle, and her mom was an environmental lawyer who worked to protect the wetlands. They didn't get much time off, and Waverly was so far away from Seattle. Her parents had gone over it a million times when she was younger, and she didn't understand why she couldn't see her cousins more often. There's a lot of stuff I want to do there, she tried to explain, and I know I won't see Natalie and Zoe again until Christmas. I tried to cram everything in, but there's never quite enough time. Emma's dad patted her back, and her mom reached out and tucked a strand of Emma's long hair behind her ear. We never get quite enough time with the people we love, she said sympathetically. But try not to worry about the deadlines of fitting everything in you want to do and just concentrate on spending time with your cousins and having fun. Emma nodded, feeling anticipation beginning to spread through her. She would have fun. The plane wheels hit the runway with a bump, and she realized that the whole golden glorious week with family was spread out before her, about to begin. By the time their rental car pulled into the driveway at Natalie and Zoe's house, Emma was vibrating with excitement. Through the window, she saw Zoe and Natalie running down the steps for the wide porch, their family's old sheepdog, Riley, ambling slowly after them. As the car came to a stop, Natalie was already pulling out at the handle of the back door. Girls, careful, Emma's mom scolded, but Emma yanked her seatbelt off and tumbled out into the sunshine and her cousin's tight hug. You're here, Natalie shouted. Her hair was dripping wet. She had already been swimming in it, clearly, and smelled like sunscreen in an ocean water. She had pulled a t-shirt over her and shorts on over her wet bathing suit, and they were damp and cool. Zoe crossed along and hugged Emma too, softer and quieter, but with an identical style of welcome. "I'm glad to see you," she said. "Natalie's been driving me nuts. At last I have someone normal around." "Hey!" Natalie fake punched her sister in her arm, pretending to pout. I am the most normal person you know, and Emma is mine." "Whatever," Zoe rolled her eyes. But she squeezed Emma's hand. Emma smiled at both of them, taking an exchange since she had last seen them in December. Zoe had cut her dark hair into a sleek bob, but Emma had seen that when they Skyped, the summer sun had brought out Natalie's freckles, and her bathing suit showed through her shirt and her damp pink patches. Zoe was cool and clean in white t-shirt and mint green shorts, looking as crisp as if they had just come out of a drawer. The twins were identical, but hardly anyone ever mixed them up. Natalie's long hair flew everywhere, whipping across her face, the part of it yanked back into a careless ponytail. Zoe swung neatly to just below her chin. Natalie's eyes sparkled and her mouth was never still. She was always laughing loudly or talking as fast as she could, words spilling from her lips. Zoe was more reserved, quieter. Her smiles were just as warm but smaller, and she kept a lot of her thoughts private. When Natalie was talking, Zoe was sketching and drawing instead, or watching everyone else with an amused expression on her face. When they were all together, Emma liked to think of herself as the balance between her cousins. She was quieter, less reckless than Natalie, but less watchful and reserved than Zoe. Natalie grabbed her arm. "Come on," she said. "Let's go down to the beach. I have got a plan." "It's a very wet plan," Zoe said, a smile lurking at the corner of her mouth. Riley finally made it across the lawn and sniffed at Emma's fingers before licking them. She petted him. Good boy," she said. "Did you miss me?" "Riley can help with the plan," said Natalie as she tugged Emma away from the car. "Hello, girls," said Emma's mom. She hugged Natalie and Zoe and said hello. Emma has to go say hi to her grandmother and everyone else before she could do anything else. Plus, the cookout was one of the things on the list, Emma said brightly, even though she was dying to know what Natalie's plan was, and she was starving. "Oh, you and your list," Natalie said inside. "I like the list." Zoe said it was very orderly, very Emma. The cookout was just as Emma pictured it. Grandma Stephanie and Emma's aunts and uncles fussed over her, talking about how they could not believe she and Zoe and Natalie were all graduated from 5th grade and were ready to move on to middle school. To them, it seemed like the girls had just been babies just a few days ago. Abulita hugged and kissed her and told her how beautiful she was and how much she'd grown, before loading Emma's plate with homemade tamales. Abulita had grown up in Mexico, and she always said traditional dishes were from there were the best. "Try a brownie," Natalie said, handing her a plate. "Huh?" said Emma, poking at it. There were weird purplish bumps sticking out of the top. "You look so suspicious," I said. "I promise it's good. We added dried blueberries and butterscotch chips this time." "Interesting," Emma said. "That explains the purple bumps Anyway, she took a cautious bite. "Good," she said, chewing. She wasn't exactly entirely sure about the blueberries, but they weren't terrible. Aunt Alyssa called Zoe and Natalie away to help them in the kitchen for a moment. Emma took her loaded plate and sat next to her grandmother. Grandma Stephen seemed thinner and smaller than she had at Christmas, but her blue eyes were as sharp as ever. "Hello, granddaughter," Grandma Stephen said, so solemnly, looking her over. "Hello, grandmother," Emma answered in the same formal voice. They grinned at each other, and Emma felt something relax inside her. Grandma hadn't changed, not really. Emma told Grandma Stephen how about how the school year had been. She and her best friend Amelia had both been forwards on the school soccer team, and they won all of their games, most of their games. And about her plans for the rest of the summer camp, mostly she had a long summer reading list for starting 6th grade. Grandma had taught her English at high school in town for 40 years, and she had a lot of opinions on books. Emma was supposed to read Oh the Giver, that's a classic, or a thing you'll like because of When Dixie. It's a dog. It got a dog in it. It was really normal, and Emma felt the little angsty tightness in her stomach. The worry that Grandma Stephens would have changed since her fall and relaxed. Despite the heavy gold top cane hooked over the arm of the chair, she was still Grandma. The conversation paused. Grandma, Emma began awkwardly. Are you feeling okay since you had to move in here? She poked hard with her fork at Bonnie's potato salad, not looking at Grandma in case she was upset. Who might be losing her house? It's just hard to think of it not being ours anymore, she whispered. I don't like things changing. Grandma gave her a long look, her blue eyes sharp. They then patted Emma's hand. Not all changes are for the worse, she said. I know, Emma agreed, and said the next bit in the song, sing-song, reciting the voice. The important thing is that we're all together now. Well, it's true, Grandma said, just looking at us all. Emma looked around. Her dad and her uncles had all congregated by the grill, talking as smoke rose in lazy spirals toward the blue sky. Maddo and Thomas ran across the lawn, screaming with excitement as Riley determinedly followed along behind, panting. Amelia and Aunt Bonnie were sharing a plate of cookies at the picnic table, their heads bent in conversation. Natalie came out of the kitchen carrying a plate of ribs. Watch it, said behind her, her hands full of plates piled so high they wobbled and almost fell. From the kitchen, Aunt Alyssa said something Emma could hear and laughed. We're all still here, whatever house we're in, Grandma said firmly. I've always loved to see you house, but family is what matters. I guess so, Emma said, looking down at her hands as she fiddled with her food. She couldn't help feeling as if she was losing something important. Seaview House was almost like family. It had held her mother's family, the Stephens, for generations. It was their past and her past, too. She couldn't imagine it not being a part of her future. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. But what I read from the first chapter, Emma is sort of like me. I love soccer, first off. I'm in 5th grade going to 6th, and a lot of her personality is like me, so you're basically learning me, kind of. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and hit the bell for notification about the next video. Make sure you smash that like button for me to make sure you want more of this, more of these videos, like reading a book. See you guys next time. Bye! Rosie plays out!